In this episode, the trend stays the same. Couple of out-of-this-world stories. First up, wife of 13 years cheated with a coworker. My wife and I have been together for 13 years. When we met, we were in high school, and now have 3 beautiful children. We obviously met when we were very young, but we both fell in love and always had a blast. Before the affair came to light, I would admit that we were going through our ups and downs like any other relationship. But never in a million years would I think she would cheat. Weeks before I found out, I started to see some changes in her. We would always charge our phones at the end of the night on my side of the bed because the outlet is on my side. I guess this is the first red flag I ignored. Instead of charging her phone like usual, she would start keeping it next to her while she slept, like under her pillow. She would just take her charger with her to work and charge it there. Now here's the second red flag I ignored. I got a hold of her phone while she was busy with something else, and I started going through her pictures. That's where I saw a selfie of her affair partner. There was another pic of her affair partner and one of her female coworkers. So I stupidly chalked it up to her coworkers just being funny and taking selfies while she left her phone unattended. I feel so stupid now. I wish I would have said something because my gut was telling me something wasn't right. So a week or so before the affair, she tells me her female coworker asked her if she'd like to come over for some drinks after work on Thursday of next week. Little did I know, it was all BS, and that it was just a cover for what she really was going to do. In reality, her and her affair partner had already planned on meeting at a hotel. We had a big fight the night before the affair. I asked her and begged her to tell me if she was seeing someone else. I asked her if she wanted me to move out, if she wanted a divorce. I was just trying to see what it was that she wanted. She insisted that there was no one else, that she just needed some space. I drank alone in the living room that night after the kids went to bed, and she was in her bedroom alone. I started sobbing, and she came out to check on me and told me to come to bed and just rest. So I did. The day of the affair, I ended up taking the day off of work. I woke up remembering that today is the day she's supposed to go for some drinks with her coworker. I had a bad feeling in my gut. I grabbed her phone while she was busy with something else. I'm so mad now for not going with my gut feeling. I grabbed her phone and had planned on sharing her location with myself through Google. I had my chance, and I decided against it because I didn't want her to get mad had she found out I was keeping tabs on her location. So she gets ready and leaves. Later on in the night, she texts me saying, "Hey babe, I'm on my way to so-and-so's house." I feel so disgusted now for telling her I loved her and to have a good time. I told her to enjoy herself and to please not drink too much. By that time, she had already been at the hotel with the affair partner for about 3 hours. She apparently did go to work, but left early to meet the affair partner at the hotel. Later on, she calls me and tells me she's finally on her way. She asks if I want something to eat. I say sure, and she comes home. Gross thinking of the fact that I kissed her when she got home. So while we're eating, she's real short about how it went at her friend's. I find that odd because she's usually super talkative. We finish eating and hang out for a bit watching TV, and she goes to bed. Now this is when I found out. Again, her phone is nowhere in sight. So I texted her phone so I can hear it vibrate, and now I know where it's at. I find it and try to unlock it a few times till I finally get the right PIN code. I go through her texts and see nothing. Go through the pictures and nothing. Finally, I open Google Maps and pull up her timeline. That's when I see it. That's when my heart is broken into a million pieces. I started panicking and saying, "No, no, please God, no." The timeline shows her arriving at work, staying there for an hour and a half or so. Then it shows her driving to a freaking hotel. I couldn't freaking believe it. I couldn't pretend to fall asleep and wait till the next morning. I woke her ass up. I told her I wanted to talk about something and wanted to ask her something. She says, "What is it?" I ask her, "Where did you go?" She says, "I told you I went to have a few drinks with my coworker." I asked, "Then why the F were you at a hotel for 4 hours?" I said, "Why the F does your phone say you were at a hotel?" I was holding her phone while this was happening, and she gets up all mad and snatched it out of my hand while angrily saying, "Why are you looking through my phone?" She kept denying it until she finally came out and told me she cheated on me. She said that she had never cheated on me before. She said that this is the only time she met the affair partner out of work. I asked her how long this was going on, and she says things started getting flirtatious between them about 2 weeks before the meetup at the hotel. She says things never got physical until the actual day of the affair. I did look at her timeline on the months and weeks leading up to the affair, and that's the only day it shows her somewhere else, and not at her job, so I do believe her. Just to point things out, this was about 7 months ago. It still hurts so damn much. It kills me inside to know that she cheated, and the thought of her sleeping with someone else completely disgusts me and breaks my heart. I thought the pain would dissipate as time goes on, but no. I feel so worthless some days. Some days I find it hard to get out of bed. Some days I just wish I never found out. This frickin' sucks. And now some words of wisdom from Wellman81. OP, I'm gonna be brutally honest here. You have a severe case of the codependent doormat syndrome. Let me tell you, if my wife did what your wife did, she'd be staying at the crappiest motel in town, and I'd be having divorce papers served. Just because you have access to her devices and she changed jobs doesn't mean that she's not going to fall for the next suave coworker that gives her his goofy-ass smile. The consequences she has received isn't anywhere near good enough. You should have separated for months before even considering taking her cheating ass back. Moving forward, if you're going to stay, which I wouldn't recommend, then you have got to stop being Mr. Nice Guy. With that said, do these things to the letter. Postnup. This is an absolute must in reconciliation. It's a binding legal document that pretty much states that if she even so much as smiles at another man, then it's an automatic divorce where she walks away with nothing but the clothes on her back. This also takes her name off all marital assets. No male, just friends. This means no one-on-one lunches with male coworkers, and no after-work drinks or parties. From now on, work is just that, work only. The days of allowing her to have male friends are officially over. No unaccounted for overtime. If she has to work late, she better have a frickin' dang good reason and provide proof such as time cards and approval from her boss. Sexual equity. If she did sex acts with the affair partner that she always denied you, then those acts cannot be denied ever again. If your sex life consists of starfish duty sex, those days are gone forever and replaced with raw, porn-style sex. If she gives you an excuse like she doesn't feel that way with you, and that's not how she really enjoys it, divorce immediately. You cannot be treated like second best in the bedroom. She pays you back in cash for the money she spent on her affair. Use that money on something nice for yourself, such as a solo trip or whatever you want. Full disclosure to everyone. That includes family and friends. And more importantly, the wife or girlfriend of the affair partner. You cannot keep your wife's dirty little secret any longer. If she's truly remorseful, she'll agree to this. If she won't, then it's game over. At the end of the day, the chances of your marriage surviving and her not cheating again are slim to none. Truth. Well, that was a good start. Let's see if we can do better on the next story. My girlfriend is a habitual liar, entirely in denial. I'm able to recognize now which lie is a lie. She knows I'm not some fool anymore, but still refuses to tell me the truth. What do I do? I began seeing a woman, 22, in 2020, that for about 5 years of her life had dated an old acquaintance of mine. They broke up in August, and we began to get serious around November. December, she became pregnant. Now, I constantly asked her on numerous occasions if she had sex with anybody else, and my answer was always no. In March, her ex texted her phone as we were together in bed, and I reached for it. She instantly got up and ran away. After some time, she showed me the bare minimum between the two of them, and it was a text that read, "Watch out, I have a cold." I asked her what does that mean. She told me she has no clue why he said that, hasn't seen him lately, hasn't had any relations whatsoever. In the next coming days, she just seemed to be heavy with guilt and sadness. She'd randomly say things like, "I need to get baptized." But I believed her, and we continued to date. Just off of intuition and her reaction, I knew there was much more to the story. So she used the fact that we had a small, petty argument one night as an excuse as to why she had saw her ex. She is always known to tell me what she believes I want to hear, or parts of a story that make others look bad and not her. I'd ask her, "What happened?" She'd say, "Oh, I needed a friend. We kissed, but nothing else. He asked me to give him head, but I didn't. I haven't had sex with him since August of 2019. Very adamantly telling me she was innocent and I had nothing to worry about. Now, our problems didn't stop there. We continue to have problems, physically and emotionally. Anytime that we lose the ability to respectively communicate, she would be 5 to 6 months pregnant, going to see her ex and on the phone late nights with him, reminiscing, gossiping, what couples do and not exes. When I'd ask, what happened all these other times? It was still very innocent. Always rehearsed, never any shame. I actually was the person who began to be mistreated, because how dare I not trust her? Why am I asking so many questions? She made this pattern seem normal and actually made me feel the man expecting a child with her, me and my feelings, and my doubts became a burden. For about 8 months, on and off, I'd ask her, "Did you suck his... Why'd y'all... No, I'm not like that. It's been only you." Until one day, I checked her Snapchat and unblocked his page. On her birthday, December 27th, her ex asked to see her, but we were together that night. This night is essentially the day that she began to conceive our daughter. December 28th I spent with my family, and so did I on December 30th. These days, her ex was in her apartment, having sex with her, multiple times each day. Videos were saved in their messages. She never apologized formally. She was upset at me for not trusting her, blocked me, ran back to her ex. For finding out I was the bad guy. All along, she's had no exact clue whose child it was. I stuck by her side and forgave her because I didn't want a little girl to be brought into the world without a father figure being present because of her mother's selfish mistakes. I got the DNA test, and it was mine, but our relationship was far too damaged. We took a break for about 6 months. In this time period, due to pattern, I knew exactly where to find her. I was seeing other women and physically having sex with them. I saw her for the first time. She instantly broke down. I calmed her down, and then with her head down, nervously, told me that I was the last person she had sex with. This is information I didn't ask for, nor did I believe any whom. As we began to try and work on a relationship, I was made to tell her everything, but her stories were kept to a minimum. I began to poke holes in them, and same as before, piece by piece, with nothing but frustration, finally just admitted that she's been in contact with her ex the entire time, but still makes herself out to be perfect. I check her phone. She is in contact with a married man she used to work with that caused problems in our past also, but calls it playful and innocent. Her ex, of course, she has deleted and hidden everything once again. Admitted to things like being friends on social media, but says she never went through with seeing him, or anything sexual, even though they made plans and she was single. Another ex, she is sending nudes to and playfully reminiscing to sexual encounters and wanted to see each other in the near future. Now, I know for a fact in these 6 months past, she has seen or has slept with one of these people, if not somebody entirely different than that. She knows that after all that has happened, and the amount of time I've spent learning her mannerisms, I can pretty much see through her crap in its entirety. Day by day, her stories change, but once again, she's sticking to the lie of not having sex with anyone, even though she was single, and even knowing I don't believe it one bit. She still stutters, gets defensive, angry, hides and deletes anything I ask as proof, but expects me to believe the half-ass lies that she barely puts thought into actually making seem honest anymore. Is there any justifiable reason behind as to why A, she wants me to believe she is still holding on to this facade of being a perfect woman, or B, she can look at me knowing I don't believe her, and with a straight face, stick by these stories that constantly change and are unbelievable in a time period we are not together? I can understand the baby being involved, but now it just seems like she's trying to keep secrets from me out of pure hatred or entertainment. P.S. I showed her the responses, and she says every single one has absolutely no truth to it. She grew angry with me and says I shouldn't listen to anybody but her. Why are you bothering with this chick? Let's see what the community says. I'm sure it's something similar. Benividi Civici says, seems like you two are playing this gotcha game and you're not asking yourself the right questions. Why are you dancing around with someone who has and does lie to you? What are you trying to prove to yourself, even if you caught her the very moment she lied? Ha, gotcha. What do you think she'll do if she's a pathological liar? She will do the standard manipulation, gaslight you, blame anything but herself. That kind of stuff needs therapy, and she has to recognize and want that for herself. If she doesn't want that, and you're fighting the crazy train, get off. Benzel McPrush says, you are screaming to a wall, expecting it to answer back. Stop trying to get the truth. You will never get it. Least of all from her. And even if by some miracle she tells you the truth, you won't believe her anyway, not after all the lies. There is no closure in real life. All the vast majority of us can do is just walk away from their toxic Chernobyl mess. That's it. Walk away. Thanks for tuning into The Sire. If you enjoyed today's content, smash that like button. Subscribe for more unique insights. Catch you in the next one.